Alright, so my pause function wasn't working, so I just went and stopped the recording. But as you can see, and we can hear them. Oh, there we go. So I don't hear any digging, so that's a good sign. And a bug I discovered last playthrough was this cheat, which I did post to the forums, and they have already confirmed that it's going to be fixed in a new release. But what you can do with blade traps right now is, yep, if you just saw that, they catch on fire. So what you need is a tool or a weapon with the fire mod on it, and then you need advanced engineering 5 with the blade traps. And I don't know if the electrocutioner, or not the electrocutioner, the turret syndrome also plays into effect here, but I've always had it, so I don't know. But they did confirm that this fire mod with the blade traps is an actual bug, and it will be fixed out. Oh, I already heard cop. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stand right here and just let the traps do all the work just like normal and see what happens. I did place my junk turret up top just to deal with any birds that might possibly come in. But for right now, I don't have to worry about them. They could possibly sweep in through these openings right here, but I'm just not going to worry about it at the moment. And I did remember to put on my nerdy goggles, so that's good. Now I'm curious if this is also a bug. The fact that my blade traps are triggering my perks from Pummel Pete. Oh, the other thing I guess we should look at is game stage is only game stage 90, day 28 Horde. So usually the first 2 or 3 hordes I just hole up behind a chain link fence somewhere and just plop down my junk turrets and just go at it. Usually just a pump shotgun is all I ever use on top, but I decided this time I should have the structure done by day 28. I mean, I don't have the outer section done as I explained earlier, but that's fine. And what I do plan on doing is adding more blade traps on those outer areas, just to take pressure off these internal ones, so that way they don't bear the entire brunt, and that way in the later game stages, I don't have to worry about helping out at all because of the blade traps getting overwhelmed and knocked out of commission. So and the other reason for using the flaming bat right now is I have no light source down here aside from my helmet. So it just helps. It makes this a bit easier to see. Now, on my next build design, I'm going to put the roof one more up. And the reason for that is because you can't hit that ladder if it's flush with the ceiling, but I could make that jump under normal conditions to grab onto it. But as you can see, let's see if we can trigger it. I kind of get caught on the bottom of the ladder right here, and I'm not sure if the AI will see me attached to that ladder or what. So in the future, I'm just going to go up 3 and then bring the ceiling across, because you can make that one jump even without the parkour pork. And to make that up there. Sounds like they've switched directions now. As far as I know, I haven't seen any radiated yet. Heard a cop or 2. I don't bother looking because then they could spit. as you can see this time, instead of doing the singles like I did on the exterior, the interior ones I actually did a 2-space. The reason for that is because of extending this design to 3 actually makes it easier build-wise and faster to just dig that area out and leave 2 open and then a single on the sides. And the reason for putting that blade trap out, sticking one into the common area, is to provide structural support here to the structure. I did not want to rely solely on these corner structures to support the entire weight of the structure. So this way, we only have a max of 4 horizontal supports to support the vertical weight. So that should be fine for right now. Now, I'm not entirely sure on if the AI, or not the AI, if the game engine sees the blade traps as providing structural support, because it does take up an entire block, and the way the vertical support works is it doesn't matter the strength of the vertical column, it's only determined by the block where the horizontal support comes in at. So it's quite possible the way the game sees this is these blocks here being fully supported all 3 across because of the way the blade trap works. Because it is a 1x3x3, so it's only 1 deep, 3 across, 3 deep, or I should say 1 high, 3 across, 3 deep, depending on how you want to look at it. So it's quite possible the game actually sees this structurally sound up until this point right here, which, if that is the case, as long as the blade traps don't get blown up, they will provide structural support regardless of how much you put up top here, which is an interesting concept because that means that at most I only have a 2 horizontal support supporting all this weight. So it'll be interesting to see how the game actually treats those blade traps, at least structurally speaking. Now, if that's the case, then I didn't need to put this block right here to support the structure. I could have left the blade trap here lined up with all 3 of these. But at the moment, I like this design. It's just more realistic. So it transfers the weight in and around into the structures, and then you've got the 3x3 structure there that also can absorb the weight. And the other thing I like about putting these 2 wides is, as you saw there, it allows one to get hit, the other one to start getting hit, shift over, and then try to move around. And that way they can't actually sneak past the blade trap. Because from what I've noticed, the blade trap will only damage one entity at a time. And as long as that one is still alive, the ones behind it can sneak by it while it's damaging that first entity before they start taking damage. And that's how you can see when they train up, some of them make it all the way to the interior blades when, in all honesty, they shouldn't be able to. Because the RPM that those blades are moving, there's no way that that one single entity would be blocking all the damage. Now, as you can see, I brought extra ammo for backup just in case. Didn't think I was going to need it, but I figured what the hell. Reloaded all my weapons at first too. Just, you know, typical. Now again, fire mod. Just cuz. Fire mod. Just cuz. What can I say? I like having the fire mod on my tools. It's just a quick and easy way of getting the light while you're wrenching or bounding on stuff. And yes, I know it's cheaty that they're getting caught on fire, but they don't live long enough for the fire damage to really do much, if anything, to them. Now, say I were to add the blade traps to the exterior pit, then yes, that could actually do enough damage to make it worthwhile But as it's being patched out and I'm the one who found it, I really don't care. And looks like we've only gotten one loop egg so far. Oh, two. I'm curious if there's any loop eggs out front that we can't see at the moment. Ugh. Oh, heard another loop egg. Yeah, doesn't look like we've gotten any vultures. So this defense is working quite well, especially against the jumpers and the spitters. So all you have to do is remove the visual path from them to you, and the spitting function or jumping function never gets activated through the AI, because as you can see, that cop just walked up. He would have been in visual range here depending on how the clipping works between me and him, which I don't think. As long as you maintain a certain percent above, then they shouldn't spit. Ooh, look at that. She actually made it up. Looks like he jumped up on the body. That's hilarious. Now, if you wanted to, you could make this pyramid a 3 high with the blades down below. And the way to do that is you would do blade trap, wedge tip, then the full block one, and then the wedge tip up top again. So that way you end at the wedge tip, and the bottom block would have been the normal full block, but that's the spot the blade trap takes. And again, like the last video, I flipped all these blade traps upside down, so that way the crawlers cannot actually beat on the blade traps anymore underneath the blades. So that was one thing I discovered in that last video, which is also where I discovered this fire bug, is I was testing out the blade traps being upside down to make sure that the crawlers couldn't get underneath of them anymore, or the dogs, and damage the blade traps without actually getting damaged. So, like my previous designs, it looks like you could just literally AFK here as long as the blade traps don't break down. So there is a physical limit as to how long you could AFK here. So if you wanted to set up a EXP base where you just set up a whole bunch of forges and create a giant hotspot right here, you would eventually have to turn it off because you will have to eventually repair the blade traps. And especially if they keep coming in from the same side, it'll severely decrease the time it takes before you have to shut down. But again, you could just literally sit here all night long and not do a damn thing. And now with the 3 blade per facet or per side design, you don't have to worry about them getting stuck in between the blade and beating on your concrete anymore, because every single block, even the corner blocks, are covered by a blade. So that way, even if they jump over and up, as soon as they fall down, you just saw it's like that Karen right there. She got her leg chopped off and then fell headfirst into the blades. Alright, so it's close enough to 4. We're going to go up top now, and we're going to take a look at our power usage. Alright, so we burned through 1 battery. And that's the reason I left the junk turret up here. So, yep. Basically, we've blown through a level 1 battery, maybe a level 2. Which is not a big deal because I have a level 6 solar cell and battery bank back at the base that I can recharge those batteries through. But eventually I'll be able to just wire solar arrays into each battery bank so that way I never have to move or change anything. Ah, that cop just got disintegrated. So basically this base would be completely self-sufficient. You would never need to repair anything or replace any batteries, swap them out. The way I've built this is it's completely self-repairing as far as, you know, the power usage goes. You don't have to keep dumping gas into it. There's no ammo that you have to keep farming and reloading. This is an entire passive built base. I have considered putting in the electric fences to slow them down, but those take electric components to repair along with iron. And this base is set up solely to just use iron and stone and clay. But once I get everything eventually upgraded to steel reinforced, it will literally just be steel to repair everything in this base. Which, spend a night farming or mining iron, and yeah, you have everything you need to keep this base going. Alright, so I did put the switches down here, so that way if for some reason I did fall down, I could actually reach them from here. And I'm still not sure on that design, just in case any demos or whatnot, but whatever. It works for right now. Alright, so let's go take a look at the exteriors and see if they did actually do any damage. And at least the interior wise, well, okay, so they took some damage here. Looks like they got caught up. All the support pillars still look perfectly fine. Let's see here. Doesn't look like they beat on anything. That's all good there. So yeah, it looks like just this one spot here, and there's that one there. So I bet you once I flatten all that out and put it into Flagstaff, I won't ever have to worry about them coming up. And yep, see what happened here was I bet you a mass of them came in, got stuck, and they started beating through, and that's why it got damaged. So once we get rid of those hang-ups and extend this to a 2 deep, then we shouldn't have any problems with this outer wall being overloaded. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Talk to you later.